everyone, welcome to another Random Talk Sunday, and today for this video I thought it would be interesting to briefly address my thoughts on the holiday season since it is kicking off next week. Yes, next week is October, so it's officially the holiday season. In other words, it's the 3 months of stress, of buying stuff, and of celebrating stuff. Depending on what your beliefs are and what your uh, cultural background is, this is the 3 months of largely American-based celebrations. Because we start off with Halloween, which kicks off in October. And then we have Thanksgiving for November, and then December we have Christmas and New Year's. So it is really the time of the seasons. It's the holiday season. It's the time where everything sort of happens at once in one big cluster of 3 months. And some people might think, well, doesn't October kind of drag on because it's relatively the longest month and also because you don't have that much time off? Well, yeah, that's true, but it is really the kickoff, October, and largely within the American tradition, there's also the significant sport of American football going on during around this time of year, which is another big thing that gets sort of the family together, so to speak. So it is a lot of stuff happening at once within these upcoming 3 months, and it happens every single year. Every single year is the same thing. And I think people sort of like that because, I think people are used to their certain ways of doing things. And I think in particular, largely growing up in the American culture, I really do like this kind of crazy 3 months that we have that involve going out and getting candy, going out and getting food, going out getting trees, all that. It's just fun because it's there's a lot of stuff happening kind of at once, and it sort of gets you excited. It gets you pumped. Whereas the other months they kind of just drag a little, and it sort of is a great way to kind of end the year because you get all these things happening all the way leading up to the ending of the year. And largely the seasons are changing, and it's all has a lot. It just has a lot that is significant to Americans and also various other countries around the world and various people within those countries. So the interesting thing, though, about this time of year is that it gets very hectic and it can get a little crazy. It can get a little overdone, I think, at times, obviously. Yes, I think a lot of people would complain that it gets a little bit on the more consumer or overconsumption side, where everybody is just constantly getting things, buying things, and whatnot. And I can see that sometimes that stuff gets a little bit overused and overdone every year. So I think the best philosophy that I have for that is moderation. At least that's what I do around this time of year. I just keep things moderate. I go out and I get whatever I need to get for people, and that's just it. I don't feel like it's necessary to really complain too much about it because there's just certain things that are the way that they are, and there's some people who buy in more to the whole idea of excessively getting tons of stuff for the holiday season. But my philosophy is more with good things comes moderation, so to speak. But these 3 major holidays are very significant because they really create the identity that has surrounded, I think, in particular Western culture, and are really the 3 months of where everything kind of not only is happening at once, but also everything is sort of pushing more towards going to the ending of the year. as opposed to a lot of the other previous months where it's just kind of like it's all just kind of hanging out there, and there's not really a huge amount of things that are kind of really consistently going on. It's not like there's a really big holiday. But whenever there gets to be a big holiday, things kind of, they progress, and they kind of move things forward, and you get to really think about certain things, and I think each of these holidays, in particular Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, and you can even count Hanukkah and the other holidays that are around December, they really exemplify a lot of different things. And I think it's important that these holidays are utilized, and that, the economy does um, contribute to that. I think that's okay. It's just the way in which you react to it is, I think, the largely the important thing, and how you perceive the holidays and what they ultimately mean. So I think that's really the important thing to, I think, understand, at least from what I experienced throughout the holidays. I mean, is it a lot of stress at times? Yeah, and it is kind of a bummer when you're trying to search for all of these different people, and you're trying to put all of this stuff together, and you want to make it perfect or whatnot. But I think the important thing is just the people, and the meanings of the holidays and what people get behind them. And I'll always enjoy Halloween. I'll always enjoy Thanksgiving and Christmas. I mean, it's never going to be something that's that I'm never really a Scrooge when it comes to holidays. I mean, obviously sometimes the way people participate in uh, the over excessive buying, that I know that's and the crowding of malls and all that. I understand that that's sometimes a problem, but overall I think, I don't think that takes really the true meaning away from these holidays, um, and the craziness that kind of surrounds them. I think, if you really look at what they sort of all represent, they all have these very interesting ways in which they um, are a part of our culture. And I think it's really important to understand that that they have a purpose and a meaning. And even if a lot of the ways in which we've come up with these holidays, they're not grounded necessarily in logic and reality, they still hold a sort of logical significance into the way we kind of perceive the world and way we perceive things, and what scares us, what brings us together, what makes us feel whole, and what makes us feel grateful, and all that. It's all something that's, I think, innate, that's kind of within human nature. So I think it's a nice blend of, sort of logic as well as um, fiction or um, or legend. So I think that's just my really honest thoughts around this time of year. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I always enjoy it when it comes around because I know it's here, and it's everywhere, and you see it everywhere, and it doesn't feel ordinary. It feels like you're in a different. You're at that time again. It's that time again. It's finally cooling off. There's no more summer. It's finally getting uh, cold to where I can wear scarves, and I can have a nice fire going. I can go outside and it's cloudy for once. In particular in California where I live, I'm hoping that we get a good rain because we need it. We need it so badly. It's really bad, the drought. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of cutbacks, and there's a lot of lawns that are turning really, 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 really brown right now, and it's really affecting the farmers, and it's sad, and even some people are still wasting water, and I'm just like, why are you doing this? Why? Uh, so yeah, there. So I really feel that this is a time of year to definitely reflect onto change, onto the seasons, and because it's really a transition of, to fall and then to winter, and it's just a uniquely fun and interesting time of year, and it's not like anything else that comes around throughout the entire year. Like all the other seasons, they don't really have a huge amount of stuff going on, or you don't really feel like there's any really connection to anything that's kind of really surrounds you. But then once these holidays come, every store has certain, has the pumpkins, and then eventually has the Christmas trees, and everybody just, even though there's a lot of stress and all of that, I think that there is still this kind of genuineness that comes out when people all come to kind of together, and they exchange gifts, they do these wonderful things. So I really do find myself enjoying this interesting and unique time of year. And I'm sure it's really unique and interesting in a variety of different countries. But for me personally, within the United States, you do feel like everybody is kind of on board. They're on the same page throughout this entire time of year. Everybody's got, you know, everything out there, and you really do feel like there is that kind of identity, sort of, that we've created these cool holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving, and we have our own kind of meaning behind what Christmas is. So it's very fascinating, and I'm so looking forward to it. It is the holiday time. It's the 3 months of fun and the crazy, and I'm going to love it, love it, love it. And I'm hoping to do something unique for the month of Halloween. So if you have any particular requests that involve something to deal with around the holiday times, in particular Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas, or Hanukkah, or anything else, be more than happy to take any requests that anybody has. Because I'm going to be starting once October hits. It will be pretty much all kind of holiday oriented, or at least I'll try to make it holiday oriented. In particular, in November might be a little bit more challenging for me, since there's unfortunately not a whole lot of material as far as Thanksgiving is concerned. But if you want to have me do anything that's holiday oriented, that is around this time of year, heck, there's maybe even a holiday I haven't even heard of that comes around this time of year, be more than happy to look into it. But I think that's unfortunately all I can say when it comes to this particular video. However, if there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year, and I hope to see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.